facility and is subject to monitoring and Thank you for using GTL.
Yeah, what's up?
No, what I was trying to say is that walking in this school, right, is a whole.
Don't fuck with me. She's a star.
Episode 10. I got something to say. I'm with my man. This is SAF Mo. I'm with my man.
Ron B in the middle.
Do it like you do it.
We are the voice.
Do it like you do it. Ron B in the middle.
Ron B in the middle.
Yes, sir. And we got special guests.
AC.
And my man,
Uncle Fi.
Uncle Fi is in the house with us. It's going to be an interesting episode, guys. We're going to talk about sovereignty. We got a guy who received the presidential pardon. This is the first time I ever met anybody who received one. Commutation. My bad. Dang. That might be higher than a pardon.
That's a step up under the pardon.
Step up. Okay.
It's all righteousness and blessings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to get it started with my man, AC. He's going to bring that sovereignty argument to us and explain just through experience what he's been fortunate to receive as a benefit of being a sovereign. And what you got to say, Ron?
I'm just Ron B
in the middle. You're doing your thing
right now.
All right.
Let it happen.
All right. We'll be right back, and we're gonna get straight in.
down in prison. Mm-hmm. So I think you guys are definitely on a great track, and what you're doing is, very commendable. Mm-hmm. On some of the podcasts though, like if you want to go into like, what's the steps that we are at before we get to the prison system? Because it's made to put us there. Right. Like I said, there's no steps.
But hold up, I got something to say.
Welcome back. This is SAF Mo, my man
Ron B in the middle.
And we told you we're gonna have AC talk to you and explain some things to you about the whole sovereignty thing. He's not an expert, but he's doing it. He's living the life. Why don't you drop it for us, AC?
All right. Well, I just want to talk about how I found out about it in the first place.
I love that story. How you tell me how you seen the dude happy.
Well, we got the story. I got the story. Mm-hmm. I just want to hear. He said he had some. I like the story about when he was saying that the gentleman who got let out the back. You got any more of those stories? The guy who went in for the.
Yeah, no, I don't have too many of those stories. That was his story that he told about when he went to court. I haven't been to court on it yet.
Okay.
Try my best not.
Hopefully you're not.
Let me ask you: how would you, if you were in the court proceedings, how would you proceed?
Well, what they told us was the first thing you got to do is you got to create your affidavit of truth.
So how is that?
Well, affidavits are like they are the truth basically when it comes to law in the court system, right? Anybody that puts an affidavit in, it's supposed to be true, and the judge is supposed to read them for any case, any affidavits that are on that case, he has to read them before they start the case. So before you even go in, you're supposed to, you know, put your affidavit of truth in to tell your side of the story, you know, of whatever you're in there for.
Okay.
You know? And, you know, once that happens, you know, from what I'm told, you know, the judge really, if you got your status correct, you know, because, you know, life, from what they told me, life is about status, right? People don't know what their status is. And for people that call themselves black, your status is dead. It's really what it is. You know,
If you're black in America,
the eyes of the law, man.
they don't see. They
black
see
is
you as
not
a slave.
Black is not a human being.
Yeah, it's black is a color.
Right. So it's not a human being. So, you know, they try to stick people who they oppressing in boxes that aren't for the living, so that they can do whatever they want to you.
Okay, that makes
You
sense.
know, so, you know, when you make sure that you claim your status on the planet as a human being, then you can proceed in court as a human being.
So what's your status?
I'm human. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I mean, but I haven't tested it yet. You know, like I said, I don't want to go to court. You know,
You've been tested a little bit though, because you
a
told
little
me.
bit, yeah, you know, with the police, but you know, I
But
mean,
my question is, like, we talked a little bit about the Moorish Americans and Noble Drew Ali
Right.
before, and when I was reading in his book, and I forget the name of it, he's got a couple of different books that they read in the joint. They talked about status being, status when it comes to what they recognize, like the Vatican is a sovereign entity,
yeah,
right? So religion being one of those status, because, you know, not status, but just where you could claim to be a religious entity to receive, you know, sovereignty to move the way you want to move. Like, so as a felon, I can't go to Canada as a felon, but I can go to Canada based on a religious
Preference.
pilgrimage or whatever. So because it just, they recognize it as a different level. So is that pretty much what you're looking at or talking about, or?
I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, you know, it's the same. It's a status. You know, if they grant a status to a religious organization or, you know, whatever they call themselves, and they give them whatever privileges or rights to be able to do whatever, that's the same thing. You know, but you know, the human has ultimate rights
Right.
on the planet to do what they want to do. You know, as long as they don't infringe on another human being's rights, life and liberty and all that.
So if I'm hearing you right, the categories that they've been giving us in America, specifically being so they can continue to treat us as slaves, or less than.
It's written in the
all kinds of
Constitution.
stuff, or even murder you. You know, that's why most of the police didn't face no charges with murdering a
Because
black
they're
person.
sovereigns.
No, they're not. But you know, they're part of the system. You know, like any officer or any officer of the court or the law or whatever, it's part of the system.
Well, they
can do whatever the system wants to do to you.
I always
they can
read
do whatever the system wants to do to you.
what I always read when
Opportunity.
I was studying in the law. It's called acting under the color of law.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the police officer is doing it in his line of duty, then he's got the if you were playing chess,
Authority.
he's being covered by a king.
Yeah.
So he can do their bidding.
Right.
So that's how I see it.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, that's just it. He can kill you based on because the state can kill you. He's operating out of the state. Right. So at this particular point, as long as he's acting under the color of law, he can murder you.
But some people don't understand when you say acting of the law of the state. They don't understand what that particularly necessarily means.
It means that the state has the power. The state can kill you. The state can execute you.
They give someone that.
And the state can, like, if you ever played chess,
Right.
if I'm covering my pawn is useless. It's powerful, but it's useless. But if I'm covering that pawn with a rook,
Acting upon the state.
Yeah,
on the state's authority.
yeah, I'm just basically it's almost something like that where it's got that shield. You're not going to take that pawn because you know if you take that pawn, I'm going to take you out.
It becomes justifiable
It-
under the pretense that you are a figment of bad and ill doing. So therefore, you must be eliminated and wiped away from this earth.
But he's like James Bond says, I got license to kill.
License to kill.
The police officer has a license to kill, but where does he get that license from? The state.
From the state.
Right. So that's just how it goes. Right. So this so we were talking a little bit more about because how do you feel about because you said you hadn't watched anything on Baby Crip, Mr. Crawford's, but I mean his whole argument centers around what you're saying. I just think for some reason the arguments are roughly the same. They you know what I'm saying? He's saying pretty much the same thing. The problem I have with BC's argument now, if I watched this episode 1,000 times, is that he seems to accept. So I'm gonna explain. He seems to be like if we were back in slavery, he would be a person who's okay with slavery because he can benefit for it, huh?
How's me?
Well, no, not that. Okay, it's like he's like a black person who says the law is this. If I catch you out at night,
so he's that guy. He's that guy. So you saying he's that guy that say we got to do what master say?
No, not so much that. He's just the dude that if he saw you out, he was a free black man. He was gonna send you back to master's plantation.
Can I elaborate on what I was saying when I used Herman Cain as the reason why the things that society has provided for Herman Cain to be a prominent citizen as a black man in this country has worked for him. So therefore, there's no reason why he can see no other reason why no other black person can elaborate into this system that is provided for the black man and why it would not be able to work for him.
I could see the similarities.
So therefore, he doesn't see the racism and the hatred and the animosity and all the other things that infects the prosperity of growth amongst the youth and the blacks.
I could see the similarities.
I get it.
I could see the similarities, but with my deal, because the reason that Herman Cain is comfortable with the system because he's benefiting from the system.
And then some of us, and I say we, but not put us all in a box or a category, but some of us as a minority does not see the vision that he has and know how to utilize and take advantage of the things
that's why I run. That's where, and then that's where I would feel like AC would take offense to what you said because you identify yourself as a black or African American.
I don't take offense to it. I just know that a lot of people don't understand where the black and white thing started from. Like it wasn't no black and white people before like 16 something, okay. And it was, it happened during the time where slaves and the poor Irish and them guys that were over here, they was getting ready to rebel against the rich people because the whole thing has been rich people against everybody else, basically.
Right. Besides,
and when the poor people were getting together, even though slaves were poor, definitely, because they weren't getting paid at all, but even the immigrants that were coming over here from Ireland and some other places, Italy, they were not getting nothing either.
Right.
And they were tired of that shit, so they was getting together, they was getting ready to rebel, and the rich folks got together like, yeah, we gotta break this up, divide and conquer. That's the only way you can beat the people anyway, so there are more poor people on this planet than there are rich.
Yep.
So if everybody that don't have nothing get together, it's over for them.
Yep.
But they keep dividing and conquering us because of all different kinds of, you got Republican and Democrat, that's a separation. You got black, white, and they started that in the 16 something. I can't remember what year exactly, but it was in 1600 something. They started calling people black and white, and they was letting them know that, at least y'all ain't black people. Because the black folks had the worst of it because they were slaves.
You talking about classification.
They was getting their ass beat.
Yeah, you talking about
killed and lynched and all kind of shit.
Classification.
They were just not getting shit. But they weren't getting treated.
You're not black.
Physically fucked up.
Yeah.
So, they let them know that at least you ain't them.
But then
they switched, they called them white and called us black, and then they divided us that way, and then they gave them little perks.
Right.
Like, being
overseers
and stuff like that.
Overseers.
That's why a lot of Irish people start going into being police work.
Exactly.
They were used to that.
That
was their growth.
That's how they came in. That's how they got their social status.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I think we were called Moors.
I don't know if everybody was.
No, but
the ones that were free,
they were called because it was if you go back and you trace this country, to its start. There's Moors over here.
Yeah, because the Moroccan Empire was huge.
Right.
And that was the first government that recognized the United States government, as a country. You know, the United States as a country, because they actually helped them put their whole thing together. They taught them how to write the constitutions and they built the rights.
And gave them their flag.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
you know,
because
they even designed Washington D.C. for them.
Yeah.
You know, but
So the Moroccans the one who put the Constitution
Moors.
together. They helped them how to put the wording together. And
Moors,
everything.
Moors
North
helped them,
America.
you know, they showed them how to develop their government.
Yeah.
Is what they did. You know, and there was black people that owned, I should say, dark skinned folks that owned slaves back then too.
Right.
It was a business thing. It was economic.
That's what BC's conversation comes in with me. Not a Herman Cain argument. It's just like I figured out the system. And the system is not to be a slave.
Right.
The system is not to be a slave, because if you're a slave, then you're going to get all these things happening to you. So I'm going to stay out of that arena, and then what I am going to do is I'm going to abide by these rules. So if you abide by the rules, if I'm a fugitive slave, I'm revolting against this system, it's your job to turn me in. It's your job to enforce those rules. You can't look past them, right?
I mean, you know, I think that'd be a personal choice, because I don't think I would ever try to turn somebody in back in to be a slave. You know, I try to help them stay free.
Right. Well,
that's what I would do.
Well, the conversation, bro, because you got to start. So I have this concept in my head. The boat is only big enough for so many people. At a certain period of time, you have to turn people back. You got to turn people back. You can't get on this boat because you're gonna sink us, right? So everybody want to get on the boat because you floating. You know your boat's working out, so everybody wants to get. So if you have knowledge works the same way. If I saw him and if he was in the joint and I walked up to him, said he was a sovereign, I'm gonna sit at his cell and let him explain this to me. But I might be listen to him 2 seconds and listen to something else totally different. I'm really just he's just entertaining me for the time. It's like that, because his conversation sounds good. So what I'm getting at is that the sovereignty argument, a lot of people hear about it. Like myself, I hear about it, but I've never done what you did. Right. Never further to actually see if it works, and because I don't know if I'm scared. I don't know what the deal is, but I've never heard it. It sounds good. It sounds like it worked. It definitely worked. It makes sense, but I can't tell you why I haven't done what you've done.
I had the opportunity to do it alone.
Why haven't you done what he?
I'm gonna tell you. I found out about it in 1999 when I was in prison, and I bought a book called Cracking the Code, and I started reading the book. And when I got out, shortly after I got the book, I put the book on a shelf and never picked it back up because I started dibbling and dabbling in the street life again. And I forgot all about it until now. Had I not did that, I would never went to prison. The last time I went to prison, when I went to federal prison, because they caught me with marijuana in my house. They never saw me like hand to hand giving marijuana to people. They never had no controlled buys or nothing like that. I didn't do that type of stuff. So under sovereignty, under common law, I didn't commit a crime.
So why haven't you pursued it since then?
I'm in the process of doing it. I've since got all my paperwork from my man AC, and I'm in the process of doing it. I'm right now trying to get myself together, trying to get my life together, and I've been procrastinating a little bit.
Man, it's a personal journey. You know, it's like every human being that's grown is supposed to know the law. And
you got ignorance of the laws, no excuse.
Represent yourself, you know, because in the court, if you need a mouthpiece to talk for you, that means you're a minor. So they don't even want to hear from you. So you're not really a grown person, you know.
That's why they had lawyers and stuff in the court for you.
That's why they have it now. But, you know, like back in the day, you know, every man was supposed to represent himself.
Definitely.
And you're supposed to know what the law is. And they got different, you know, books, dictionaries. They got the Webster's Dictionary that teaches people the words, a lot of them incorrectly. And then in the law, they have the law dictionary that they use for whatever they say in law. Means a specific thing, you know. And it's like, if you don't comprehend that, then you are fucking yourself up.
A minor again.
Well,
True. And you know, you're gonna need a mouthpiece, but the mouthpiece, the people that are on the bar association, they are part of the system.
Officers of the court.
So right. So they're not. I mean, some will work to try to get you off of your case, depending on how much money you can spend with them, because it's a charge. That's why they
Johnny
call
Cocker.
it a charge.
Johnny
because
Cocker.
it's about money. Everything is about money. It's about commerce. You know, this is what it's all
Jose
about.
Baez.
It's about moving money and getting money, and it's all about money.
Transaction.
Slavery was about money. It was business. It was everything has been about getting money,
This is country.
getting wealthy on this planet. It's now you know you got some people out here that are considered bigots, and they got these ideas about dark skinned folks, light skinned folks, Mexicans, wherever the fuck they got all that bullshit. But the people that got bread,
they don't give a
real
fuck
money.
about that.
It's all about money. It's not about.
They don't care.
They don't give about the money,
Yeah.
and the systems are set up because they set them up. The systems are set up to get them money from everybody on the planet. Everyone. It's that's why they got these bullshit tickets for this, that, and the other. And everybody gets raked in that shit. You got some of these folks that believe the hype that was done to break everybody up when they were rebelling against them white folks. I mean, not white folks. When they was rebelling against them rich people. That separate everybody into these colors, and now you got these people out here that be spewing that stuff out. But the people that up there, they ain't worried about all that.
They don't care.
Bill Gates and them who
They
are
don't-
pushing this so-called vaccine and stuff. They not targeting just you or me or dark skin. They hitting everybody on the planet with this shit. They making a vaccine. You gonna find out that shit is supposed to give you immunity.
Yeah.
That's what the definition of a
that's
vaccine
it.
is. It gives you immunity. You can't catch it. You can't pass it. You can't get sick from it. You are immune.
Yeah.
That's not what this shit does. So, but they still getting paid off that shit. They said $1,000 a second or a minute or some shit. They getting told off. And everybody, because they got money. And they got the system behind them that's pushing this shit for them. So when you get back to, you as a corporation that they put in your name at birth since 1933 when this government corporation went broke, you got to take control of that again if you're gonna be a sovereign. But the Moors, they say fuck that. You don't even have to do that. You can just pull yourself out and reclaim your nationality, which I'm looking into too because I just want to be on the right side of this bullshit. That's all. I just want to be on the right side of the bullshit.
I don't want to be controlled.
Right. I want to be free. That's what I want. I want to be me and be free and not have these motherfuckers being able to tell me what the fuck I got to do with my body or whatever, my possessions, my home, anything. I want to be able to be free. Because I'm not out here hurting nobody. And as a human being, you supposed to not be trying to hurt other human beings.
Right.
You're supposed to be just trying to live your life and do your thing and be prosperous and whatever. That's what it's about.
Uncle Fuad, did you hear about the sovereignty argument when you were locked up?
Most definitely.
What did you hear about it? What's your take on it?
I've heard and what I got from it mostly is not to say too much because everybody don't need to know if they don't know.
I think people need to know.
I don't think everybody needs to know because some will take it and play with it as a toy.
And we seen that when we was locked up.
Utilize it to its full potential.
Well, and we seen that when we was locked up. And what I mean by that is I seen people use it in a malicious way and put liens against the warden.
That's petty.
Put liens against the case managers and stuff like that. Put liens on their bank account and freeze their bank accounts and stuff. And they using it in a malicious way, trying to make them people free them.
But
and they're not the people that locked them up.
I don't think that's malicious. I think that was war tactics because when you locked in a box, man, you at war. These people are taking your flesh and putting it in a box over some bullshit most of the time. Like if you haven't committed a crime against a human being, you ain't hurt no human being. All you did was try to make a little money selling whatever you're selling or whatever. You ain't supposed to be locked in a box, man. And they doing this to you on a regular basis for some dumb shit. Like if you owe child support because you didn't make enough money,
they send you to the joint.
Because
they
gonna take your
car,
your human being flesh and lock you in a box for that bullshit.
Anything.
I mean, you might not be a deadbeat dad. You just might have fell on hard times. But if you can't make this payment, it's a charge, and if you can't pay that money, they take your flesh.
This is how I look at the lien process and procedure.
You gotta hurt them folks.
It's like if you move into a new apartment and it's infested with cockroaches. You killing what you've seen, but you're not really getting behind the walls and inside the cracks to get to the real deal.
Yeah, because they living back
but
there.
That little lean and shit it has been set up and where they can counterattack that, because that was the case. That opportunity, that avenue, and that window would be so freely and
don't lose focus. We're talking about the knowledge of sovereignty and the education that people need to know that like a lot of cats don't know. A lot of people walking around talking about I'm black, I'm a Negro, I'm African American, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this.
You know what happened when I tried to tell Eric them about it when I first got out in '99?
Nah.
Or 2002, when I first, they say you a fool, you crazy. That shit ain't gonna work. That shit ain't gonna work. And that was another reason why I put the book on the shelf and put it up. You understand what I'm saying? Because I couldn't get nobody to believe in me and understand what I understood.
You got it, but the thing that's the problem. It's not. We're so far gone from who we are. We don't even know who we are. That's why they can manipulate it. That's why people walking around. That's why none of these arguments. That's why I brought AC back. That's why I want BC here, because none of these things make sense to anybody. They think these people are fools. They're walking around like, oh yeah, that don't make no sense until you get locked in that fucking box. Okay. You searching for
shit ain't real.
You searching for who you are, and you start hearing it, and everything start making sense. What he say makes sense. What BC said makes sense. We're slaves.
You know what it is, bro? That is controlling all this and driving this is fear.
That's we got that instilled in us because what they did to all the big bucks, the dudes who were born in revolt, the Nat Turners, they killed them.
Prime example, for instance,
they killed them.
Prime example. I'm gonna take you back some years and I'm gonna bring you to today's society.
Please do.
Okay, back in, I'm gonna say 1,000 years from now, slaves that was physically able to stand up against the oppressed, to stand up against oppression. They was taught a lesson. Humiliated, mutilated, and everything else, broke down to the lowest terms of a human being in front of their wives, in front of their kids. You and I all know, as being a man, you cannot break a man down no more lower than you can break a man down when you break him down in front of his wife and his kids. So when you break a man down in front of his wife and his kids, now what? And the wife has nothing left but little siblings. And the wife's gonna do what? Plant the fear inside of those little siblings' heads. Hey, look, don't disobey the master.
Don't do what your daddy did.
Don't do what your daddy, because you want to end up like your daddy. That is a fear that is planted in the seed that is planted inside of the kids' minds, hearts, and spirits and souls. Now we just fast forward 1,000 years from now. You got all the cops killing all the minorities and whatnot, and they're getting off the cases. So the mothers these days, what are they going to do? The same thing they did 1,000 years ago. Hey, look, don't disobey the police officers. Do what they tell you to do, because if you don't, they're going to kill you, and you're not going to be able to come home to me.
Just put your hands on the steering wheel, baby.
That is a fear that is being oppressed.
You know,
and
you bringing me back to the present day. Right now, but I'm telling you, it's everything. It's culture now that's putting fear in the black folks. Because when you look to Whitney Williams, or you look to anybody, when all those police killings was going on, she didn't have nothing to say to you, but make sure you have your hands on your steering wheel, and make sure you keep your insurance above your head, so they don't kill you. They're killing you from anywhere. Look what they did to for any reason. Look at Castile. Shot the man.
They asked him for his license and insurance, and he went to reach for it. And they asked him, did he have a gun? He said, "Yeah, I got a gun in the car."
He wasn't a felon. Yeah. He wasn't nothing. Yeah. So what do you have to do? It's just like AC said. Being black in America makes you less than. We've been saying that over and over again, and it hasn't registered in our heads. It's like to qualify yourself as anything other than human, or anything other than I'm an equal to what you are, is making you less than. It's just like you say, when you go to court, you're a child. That's why the lawyer tell you to shut the fuck up. That's the same thing you tell your child. Yeah. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Yeah. Let me talk to the judge for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You say that to your child.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this right. Do you know in federal court, before the federal court started passing out time, federal court was designed where you walk in and pay a fine and walk out.
Yeah, I seen the paperwork.
It was never.
It says punishable.
Do you know that federal jurisdiction have? Or a fine. Hold on. Do you know that federal jurisdiction have misdemeanor felonies and felonies? Simply saying, me selling 10 keys of cocaine with no prior criminal history is a misdemeanor felony in the court of federal law. By law, according to the federal law statutes, I'm supposed to be charged and basically subpoenaed for a court day to come and pay my fine and restitution and be done with the federal system. Time is nowhere in that equation. When the time evolved, I can't remember precisely. But there's a lot of laws that we are ignorant to.
I know when time started, when they were able to.
Do you know that a lot of our laws comes from another country?
Of course. Well, it's Anglo jurisprudence. It all comes from but the thing about it, when they started equating time to a prison system, when they were able to connect economics, because every time you spend in a joint or a prison or a jail cell, equates to a dollar value. Mm-hmm. That's when they start. That's why they got or. Because whatever time you're doing is equivalent to the amount of money you need to pay.
Do you know what is the highest paid departments in the federal facility?
I have no idea.
Food service, psychology, commissary, and recreation. A regular CO is a pawn. The warden is like a bishop. He's not the king.
No, he's never gonna be.
He's never the king.
They don't care. They're gonna.
He's a bishop or something like that.
He F that. He might be
He might be a rook.
This
motherfucker sit over in the corner. And wait till your turn. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know this.
We are
the voice of the voiceless.
We are
the only voice.
Exactly. We'll be right back.
Episode 9.
Everything in my life has led up to this point. Hey, we're back. Hey, we're back, and this is I Got Something to Say. I'm SAF Mo with my man
Ron B in the middle.
And we got everybody decided to come back, so we got everybody here. And we about to continue our conversation. This is some real interesting things. I'm finding out, like this whole sovereignty deal and what's going on with it. AC, just you explained a couple of things that you've been experienced with it. You have experience with the utilizing this, or just accepting the fact that you're a human, not black, not anything like that. What would you want? Anything like that? What would you want? What makes you continue? I mean, is because you really haven't utilized it to the point. Is it just the knowledge of who you are that's making you continue on with this?
Well, I've been a truth seeker for a while, trying to figure out, what's the real deal out here. So, it just fell in my lap, really. And after it falling in my lap like that, I've been learning some other stuff. You know, just like I said, my cousins, you know, had been on the more science information, and
Now, do you have a temple? Or they
have temples all over the place. But, you know, my cousins don't have one particularly, you know, that they, you know, I don't know if they go to one, but, you know, they don't, we haven't put one together, nothing like that. But, but you know, I got cousins who've taken it to the point where they got their Moorish identity, their ID, you know, you know, so it's like, I'm like, I might as well do that instead.
You know what interested me last time you said you're going to try to get a pistol.
Oh yeah, I was gonna try. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna. I just
that.
want to see. I just want to see if they can get my background. You know, because you know I am a felon. You know, my corporation is a felon. I guess you could say that. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway,
Not as a sovereign, you're not.
right. But you know, like every job I've tried to get, my background check comes back where none of my past arrests, you know, have even been on. Because I only got one felony, but I've been arrested 4 times. You know, on some drug charges, and none of them show up, you know. But you know, they've been a while ago. But so I don't know how far they go back. But whatever, my shit comes up real clean, you know. And I don't know if it's because of the paperwork I filed, you know, which you know hasn't gotten me a ticket since then, you know, after being pulled over 3 times with no license, you know. So I don't know, man. You know, I just. But
And that's what I want you to enlighten the people about. You've been pulled over 3-4 times.
Yeah, he went over that last time.
And you don't have a driver's license. And they rang your name and just
well, because you know everything in this under the Uniform Commercial Code is contractual. So you know that's why they make you sign everything. You know you got to sign back your credit card, your license, ID. Yeah. It's a contract. You know because your signature is your bond on this plan.
Exactly.
You know so you know and it's worth money, you know. So you know, people don't know that their signature is valuable. You know,
right.
So you know, they tell you to sign this, sign that, and everybody be signing their shit away. You know, and you know, motherfuckers is getting paid off your signature. You know?
Your signature.
Every time you sign the court papers,
the only person that's not getting paid off your signature is you most of the time, unless you actually are doing a contract with somebody else. You know, like if you sign a contract with the music industry or the basketball or you know, whatever, you know, then you know if you're doing services, you know, then you can get paid off the signature. But when you sign your credit card statement or
hospital bills,
all that, you ain't getting no money off that. But that's money.
That's money.
And like your back of your license and all that basically signs you into a contract that's not even valid because an actual contract, a valid contract in the eyes of the law, is a signature. It's 2 signatures, one from each living human being that's in this contract together. So when you sign your license, your ID, or whatever that is, or your credit card, or you know, that's a contract that you got with another corporation that's not even live, and nobody else is signing it. You know,
and I also
it's really a voided, invalid contract.
And I also read in that book. I also read in that book that you should always sign your signature in red ink that represents the blood as a real human person, not a person that's.
I've heard different, you know, things.
What you heard
different things about ink, and I've heard blue ink.
Blue ink can't be copied. That's the thing with blue ink. You can copy, but it's always the blue ink's original. Anything else after that is a copy. That's why I thought about the red when he said red. So you can't make a copy of it.
You're not supposed to sign it red.
No,
well, you know,
the book says the sign it red.
So,
yeah,
You know,
the book that I bought, I paid $160 for this book, and it walks you through the whole process, and it even has the paperwork in the back of the book, and it says the sign in red ink.
I mean, that's like I said, that's why I wanted to try to clear up some of these myths, truths, try to figure out what's going on. And BC argument, the more I listen to it, it sounds as if what he says is applicable to everything. So like you say, basketball, football players, in music industry, it's a slave contract. It's just a more expensive slave contract. It's more expensive. A basketball player is nothing but an expensive slave.
It's a slave.
You're right.
That's all he
Football
is.
player,
His value.
I would think that depends on the wording in the contract.
No, because I'm paying you.
Think about it.
To play for me.
To work for me.
Think about it. 'Cause listen,
I'm playing you to work, and you better get out there. And it's got
Go
all
out
the
there and
policies,
risk your body for me.
all the penalties with it.
Basketball, football, all of that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
It's
that's,
designed,
but
the
that's all
rules and
wording in the
everything.
contract. Like, so if you had a wording in the contract that was different than that says that if I don't feel up to playing that day because of my body, then I don't have to play and I don't get penalized. It may not really be a slave contract. It might be a partnership.
Slave don't have to go out on Sundays because Sundays are off days. I'm just saying that
it's on you.
It's a modern day version of slavery because they all go to auction. Mm-hmm. They all worth
That's
some
the
amount of
draft.
money.
That's
They
the draft.
get their draft, and they get pinned with a certain type of
I
money.
understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying that the end, if you can take
I can see your argument.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you could visualize it being we're on a slave block sitting in that courtroom, then you can say that he's on a slave block when he goes up for auction at the whatever
Draft,
they want to call
at
it.
the draft.
He wears a suit though.
Yeah.
We wear a suit too.
I mean,
You wear a suit too.
But see, a contract can be worded.
Trade.
Right. But I mean, I'm saying.
Bargain.
What I'm saying is, the contracts are about
Trade.
It's
Bargain.
about partnership, right?
Yeah.
Trade.
Now some
Bargain.
contracts, like the music industry, especially that were I don't know about now because these 360 contracts I'm hearing are really bad.
You was in the music industry for a little bit.
Yeah, but that's a flash in the pan. But
Because I'm just saying, I'm speaking to your expertise.
Well, I'm not an expert in almost nothing. But anyway, the thing that the industry was doing was they were taking people's masters, who were actually the ones creating the content that was being sold.
Yep.
And those were definitely slave contracts because you did all the work and got minimum amount of the money because those masters are worth billions because especially if it hit because that shit can be sold to any and every company to use. It can be licensed out for TV shows and movies and just all kinds of stuff. And if your contract was only 5 years and you had no access to the masters, you didn't get none of that money after that.
You enlightened me about SoundScan. I did not know about SoundScan until you told me about that when you said that every time that they spin a record, that so much money goes to the record company and so much money goes to the
it's a quarter every time a record is spun on the radio. It's a quarter being spent or paid from to the label. And like the label splits that up depending on how the contracts are written. The writer gets money, the producer of the beat gets money, the artist gets money if they had that in their contract.
25 cents is a little bit of money.
It's a lot of.
But if you think about it, there's 50 states, and I don't know how many major cities, but there are probably 1,000 radio stations that will play a certain type of music.
Yeah.
Because you can go all up and down that dial and get different types of stations.
Right.
And so you got those in thousands upon thousands of cities.
Do they even count the Pandoras and the SoundCloud?
Well, I don't know how they do that now, but I'm talking about this was before
SoundCloud and all that
digital stuff.
Right.
But when you play a record once an hour, or sometimes it's less than an hour, all day long, that's at least 24 to 25 spins that you're gonna get on one station every single day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
For at least 3 months. Most of the singles would ride for 3 months.
Right. I've been listening to the radio
and some of them, if
they
hits, they just keep playing.
Yeah.
They might not play every hour after that 3 months when that single is gone, but they keep playing. And this is just United States. You got radio stations all over the world that this is happening, and it's a quarter everywhere. I mean, this is
every time.
Why you think these folks that got them hits and Beyonce and them and all them
For
are
example,
fucking rich?
how many times you think slipping and falling I can't get up was played?
That probably wasn't played much on the radio compared to some shit that Beyonce or somebody that's getting
what's that one she got?
everything or Mariah Carey or somebody. Man, I'm telling you, man.
Well, just Michael Jackson.
Crazy About You. That's what went crazy about you when her and Jay-Z did.
Just Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson music.
Michael Jackson, right?
That shit gonna get played, and it's still getting played forever. It's never gonna stop.
No.
I mean, it's
so those kind of contracts with slave contracts. That's why Prince did what he did. Because he realized, like, man, these motherfuckers is making so much money off me, man, and I'm the one doing all this. And Prince was doing it all. He was writing and producing and playing.
But nobody.
Most of the
I don't think. No, he didn't get.
He got out of his contract. That motherfucker was getting it all.
But the thing about it, nobody gives him credit. Nobody gives him credit. When you go and think about who really set the internet off, selling your music off the internet. That was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was him.
I think I heard
No,
something.
nobody
I
giving
heard
it.
something about
Because
it. I
he
think it was you
produced
that
the
told me
web-
that.
he produced the
He
web-
talked
he
about
made
that
the
a
website.
long time ago. You told me about that when you was in the music industry.
He killed the
Prince
game.
told y'all about that,
He's-
and y'all thought it was like ludicrous.
Well, at the time,
No, we just didn't understand what he was talking
I
about.
I said at the time when he did what he did, I'm like, why is he? Because you know that slave mentality. Why is he leaving these major labels when they're giving you $100 million?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's
I
nothing.
specifically remember you telling me about Prince talking to y'all about that.
Yeah, he was letting us know before YouTube and all that came out.
He killed the
letting
game.
us know that everything was going digital and we didn't have to sign up contracts. And we was like, man, dog, we like he can say that because
He's Prince.
He's in there already.
Yeah.
He's Prince, right?
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
Prince.
like he don't have to sign no contracts.
Yeah.
Everybody know who the fuck he is. Nobody knew who the fuck we were.
If you knew
You
then
know?
what you know now, what would you do different?
I fuck with Prince.
Man,
He killed the game.
what I know
Prince.
now, man, I would have been invested in Google and YouTube. Hey, man, I'm
He
telling you.
killed the game, man. I seen that because I forgot about it when he was doing that slave shit and he pulled away from the record company, put all this shit on the internet, selling all this shit on the internet.
He wouldn't even advertise. He had people. He had 25 million hits. I heard he had 25 million hits a day on his website. He didn't have to advertise.
Killing
He would
the
just
game.
drop an album on his website, and that motherfucker would go platinum like that.
Sure.
Cause he got fans
Yeah.
all across the globe, and they just would hit they would just hit his site every day. Let's see what Prince is up to. Boom, check, nothing.
Boom.
You know, it didn't take but a second, but when something was new, it was on there. And man,
Yeah, but he
Like
now
that.
think about it. He's getting all the money.
all of it, every dime.
Don't have to split nothing with. He don't have to split nothing with.
Nothing.
And people
right.
don't understand that
He
concept.
didn't even have to go in business with anybody with distribution because he wasn't printing CDs no more.
He killed the game, man.
Yeah,
That's when he wrote that
every
slave on his
day.
face. People thought he was
He
crazy.
put a slave on his face.
Remember, he used to have slave. He had slave before he was getting out of
he
his
wrote
country.
slave in his beard.
Yeah, he wrote slave.
Yeah.
Like Nas did the album Nigger.
Well, the thing that's why I related it. That's why I said the slave contract. Although they think they're making a lot of money, but I want Archie to think about it in the sense of what are the owners making? If
I know what the
yeah.
owners making,
If you can pay a person a
You
million,
walk in a restaurant basically and look at every dish and estimate what the price of every dish is the price range on every dish. And then you can pretty much look at the price range of the dollar amount of value that is being took in that night at this restaurant. And then you do that times 7. Like if you know every plate on average is $40, $50. And if you got a capacity in the restaurant where you can hold 150 people, and on average you might get 100 people a night, and it's $40, $50 a plate. That's more like $5,000 a night.
well, but you're employing your employees $1,000.
And you probably
Well,
paying
no.
them. Let me say this right now.
Well,
You're not
no.
really, because listen, let me say this right here.
Not a night.
I'm glad you said that. Because look, I worked at a restaurant, a fast food chain, and guess what? The combo meal that I made my first 5 minutes on my shift paid for me for that whole hour.
Yeah.
So I had 55 minutes of free labor.
Yeah, really. But is that not slavery then?
That is slavery.
Even that not slavery.
That's
So-
not slavery. That's I'm gonna jigaboo you any chance I get.
Well, I mean,
Because if
somebody
you're not
has
knowledgeable,
got to work the
you know what I'm
business.
saying?
Well,
You're
but
not-
so
If you
saying? Like-
if you paying somebody a wage that they can't live off of,
why
and
should you? If you don't know?
while you're making billions,
Right.
then yeah,
That-
you treat them like a slave. But,
Right.
But I mean, if you got a mom and pop spot, you know, and that's your only business, you don't have a chain of these motherfuckers. This is your only thing, and you put your whole life savings in it and all that. You might not be able to afford to buy health insurance for your employees at the moment.
Right.
And you might not be able to pay them, might not be able to afford to pay them $25 an hour. You might only be able to afford to pay them $15 an hour because you're trying to make the business work. So that's not really a slave thing. But if you blow up and these same employees that helped you blow up don't get an advance in their salary and they don't rise with you, then you're fucked up.
McDonald's right
you know.
now. McDonald's don't hire convicted felons.
I thought they hired felons.
No, McDonald's do.
I thought McDonald's did.
You sure?
I know Burger King.
I can't speak for this.
And this state? Yeah.
McDonald's has their hourly rates and everything.
McDonald's won't hire convicted.
Well, I got a problem. Target don't hire felons. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
You know, it just that's a whole nother conversation we have, and that's sort of what the platform is all about. Is calling out these apartment complexes, these businesses refuse to hire us or allow us to live in their residence, but they want our money, right? I mean, apartment complexes maybe not, but still, it's still it's okay to discriminate against us. It's okay to eliminate us from being able to work. And we already talked about it. If your felony is against children and you want to work at a daycare, maybe you should rethink. You know what I'm saying? But if you're feeling is financial fraud and you want to work in a daycare, why can't you?
Right.
Why can't you? Why can't you?
If no money is passing through your hands,
Why can't you? But
It's irrelevant to your crime.
yeah, but I'm saying they'd be like, oh, you got a felony, you can't work here. Like they, and then the thing about it too is what's going on with this why am I going to prison if you're not giving me an opportunity to clean the slate off and show you that I'm a different person?
Well, because prisons are businesses.
Well, I'm just saying.
They're not trying to help. They're not trying to help you stay out of there. They're trying to get you back.
Well, yeah, but I'm just people. Why hasn't that been a question? Like, okay, what's you sentenced me. I lost access to my family. I went to prison. I did the time. I came out. I'm still doing time. I did your parole. I'm done with parole. I'm still a felon. I can't do nothing. Where does this make sense at?
And what's the point of them putting up them recidivism rate stats and all that shit if they ain't trying to help people?
I'll go back.
In my 13 years straight into that system, taught me this right here. If you don't want to apply it for yourself, then you damn sure not going to make it give it to you.
What you mean by that? What you mean?
If you don't want to better yourself, educate. I went in with a 6th grade education.
So you could read, or you were reading that.
I could read the basic fundamentals of English language.
Did you understand what you read?
I understood what I read basically, but when it came to court of law and understanding the corpora, whatever that he was using, the Latin terms of the law, I was totally dumbfounded. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to me wanting to better myself and educate myself and see myself evolve, educational wise, and personality wise, characteristically wise, I had to apply that. And even with the educational terms on as far as learning the English system of what they call educating yourselves, you know what I'm saying? I had to force them to put me in GED courses.
Why you had to force? Because the amount of time you had?
I had a life sentence.
So they didn't want to put you in
They
it.
felt like my life was over and I was never going to come home, so
You
why
was
waste
dead.
my fucking time?
Yeah, why? Give it to somebody who's going to,
Why waste your fucking time with him?
Yep.
He's dead in this system. He's going to never go home.
Yep.
That's what the fuck they told me.
How much time did you have?
I had a life fucking sentence.
Life sentence, and it was, with Fred, life sentence.
Federal life sentence for fucking
natural life.
851 for motherfucking crack cocaine. And they enhanced my sentence, and I never seen the amount of drugs they put
Tell them
on
what
me.
your out day was.
My out day
99.
Some shit ain't even never existed.
99.
Forever.
I seen that, yeah, natural life,
Forever.
death, yeah.
Fuck me, fuck my family, fuck my daughter, fuck my baby mama, and her trying to raise up a woman, a woman, not a child, but a woman in a society, in the world where so much is being bared upon them.
Females, definitely.
Who freed you?
Who freed me? God and Obama.
And Obama.
Say that again, I wanna hear it.
And Obama and the good citizens in this country that believe that there are some good people in this country that besides, despite the mistakes they have made, you know, I'm not making excuses. Not saying they haven't want
But that-
me. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't have and didn't have what I've had. Wasn't blessed with the opportunity to be around certain people, or wasn't blessed with the opportunity to plant, have seeds planted in them that they are more than what someone is trying to make them out to be.
It's important. You said you foresaw this, or you predicted this?
I prophesied in 2006 when I was in bloody Beaumont. There was a couple of homies, ain't gonna mention names. They was in the horseshoe in the middle of the unit, the bloody Beaumont at unit DB. And we was sitting there and I told y'all, one of the guys had 5 life sentences. He had been down 25 years, drenched down to his motherfucking ankles. And I told them. And another cat was from Picola, and I told them all, in 10 years from now, that they was gonna reiterate, open up a system to where they started evaluating everybody in it to see what they was doing and how they was doing it to better themselves in the system. What was they doing to better themselves that was not any ulterior motive or gain on the back end for them than doing like GED courses, college courses, or even health and physical training courses. As far as like nutrition courses on the proper way to eat, what foods not to eat. They have all that in the system, yes. But is it being provided and utilized to the best of its ability so that we can get the full benefits from it? Hell to the fuck no. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes in there trying to get by each day, and that's a hustle. They turn everything into a hustle. So now if you can give me $40, $50, I can get you in my class, and I can go ahead and write a certificate up for you and say you did it. But no, shit, they ain't did
So
shit.
inmates running that class?
Inmates running that shit. Inmates running everything.
I'm talking about that already.
I can't say about those lower security prisons, but I do know in the penitentiaries where I was at, where the inmates ran shit, where they had to have wardens surrounded with like 8 and 10 motherfucking officers when he walked the compound because they didn't never know when one of those loose screws or cannons or whatever. They say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of people playing my emotions in my mind. Fuck this warden. I'm gonna get him up out of here, and I ain't got shit to lose. But no, actually, it's a mind game with a seed of planting these people around to make them think that they are someone else or something that they're not.
So the Beaumont, what was one of the
Beaumont, I said, man, in X amount of years, these people's gonna reevaluate everybody in this federal system. In 2006, I told them this. In 2016, they started releasing people with President Obama in prison for the commutations and all that stuff. And guess what was based on everything that they was evaluating people of? The least amount of trouble that they was getting in, when they was feeling like they was not a threat to society, and did they educate themselves? And guess what? If you educated yourself from 2006 to 2016 while you was in federal prison, there was nothing beneficial or given to you to be rewarded to you for doing so. So if you was doing this because you wanted to better yourself.
Yeah, it's personal.
And I told them that. I said, listen, bro, y'all gonna have to do this. If y'all feel that y'all are gonna ever walk out of here when you don't have a chance, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to better yourself. Regardless if you get out or not, you just wanna better yourself. And I was laughed at. Look at me now.
Free man.
I was laughed at.
Y'all here.
God, real talk. I was laughed at.
Yeah. It's just.
I was laughed at.
Who laughed?
I was laughed at, and I had people was trying to get me out the way because you know what? I was giving people courage, bravery. Man, you'd be surprised how many young brothers, 30 years old, and between the ages of 18 and 30 years old, and you got guys been in the system already 10, 15, 20 years, getting those guys that already have a fear installed into them before they even get to the institution, and then those guys really won't even do half the shit that they want the other people to do, but they want other motherfuckers to go out and do it for them and fuck their life off of them. And guess what? Now they stuck in the system. Just right now, it's a young cat down in the penitentiary down there. This dude was going home next week. Some older G's told this dude to go put a hit out. He go home in a week. He done went in there and killed the dude. He don't know if the dude gonna live or not. Guess what? Now they telling him in the prison, you ain't going home next week. You somewhere in another county jail or home away from home, waiting on your outcome.
Yeah.
And your outcome is based on this dude, whether he live or not. 20-something years old, but here it is, a guy my age gonna tell you to go out and kill somebody.
And these guys,
and that's another thing that people need to get in touch with, man, and get into with. Not just these other people, but our own people. Because man, for real, these dudes that's in the system is infecting and poisoning the minds of our youth, bro. I feel like that's on both sides. I feel like that's on both sides.
No, what type of time did the dudes have that told him to do what he did?
Man, dude ain't never going home.
They were never going home.
So his life is over with.
Two things is going on. There's two things. One thing is that the same thing is going on now. You got people talking about I got shooters. I'm gonna see my little guy go knock you off. So I mean, if you believe that and believe that's what's going on, that they sending the dude. We call him. I'm a send off. Yeah, send off, spin off, send off. So the other thing we got, part two, is that when I was kicked, I had a bro. I love this bro. He was Kendall Bay, Vice Lord. You know what I'm saying? He come in. He from St. Paul. A lot of people might know him. He come in and he saw when he first come in. He do a short bid, but he see all the lifeless. Mm-hmm. He glamorized that lifestyle. So he go out and get 3 life sentences. You know what I'm saying? And come back in. Now he said, and a lot of times when he's telling the story, it was because the older G's or the older lords or whoever didn't tell him, man, don't bring your ass back up in here. They made it seem like they was living in here until he got those 3 life sentences and see what it really looks like.
Yeah.
just a falsehood. They was just playing a game. They was as miserable as he is now.
Shout out to the Moles. It's another organization, but I seen when I was in federal prison, this Mo, he came back to prison after he got out. He thought he was gonna get open with welcome arms and all that. They violated him. They violated him. They in trouble. They coming back. They violated him.
With all due respect,
they didn't welcome him back. They violated his ass.
Listen. With all due respect to the Moles, I'm gonna say this right here. You know who you are, and you know who I am. It was me and one other guy, and we was up against two organizations. Our own homies would not step in for us. The Moles did.
Moles.
Respect.
Yeah.
Moles.
Always
got a lot of love.
Always
Moles got a lot of love.
Yeah.
Respect.
Hey,
the own homies wouldn't even step in for me.
Yeah, I mean, so
because they seen that I wasn't backing down no matter what was against me.
So, anyway, let's break. We're gonna go back. This our last go round. We're gonna break. We're gonna break after this.
I ain't got nothing else to say after that.
We got this is our last. Go one more.
I can tell you, man.
We got one more, man.
We got a lot to say. We're gonna be here for a while, man. Not tonight. I'm
gonna step back off this next last thing y'all got.
I'm just saying you're gonna be in Minnesota for a while, man.
I'm gonna see you again.
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna be on camera. He done with us.
Watch the episodes, man.
I watched one. I've been here in my game, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. I can't get mad at you.
Both of y'all, man.
I'm just gonna turn on that.
You didn't tell me your handle. He Boogeyman. That's Boogeyman. What's your handle?
On PlayStation?
Xbox.
I don't play on Xbox.
I'm a PlayStation man too.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah, he a gamer too. He just like you in country.
Oh man, I play
GTA. I probably love GTA 5. That's what I work with.
Oh, I'm on Division. What the hell is that? It's like it's almost like kind of what we're going through now. It was like some disease hit, man. It was like a pandemic, man. They shut down New York, and
What's the game called Division?
Yeah, well, it was the Division first, and then now it's Division 2 right now.
Okay.
You know.
I'm gonna put that on there and see what that's about.
Yeah. I mean, Division 1 was.
What's that game I was playing today?
GTA 5.
Okay.
I played that a little bit, but
I ain't seen nothing else for real that can top that with me because it deals with everyday life and aspects of things. I'm more humanized with the character.
I understand that.
You know what I mean? It ain't no monster aliens.
No, well, this Division ain't monsters aliens either. In Division's like the pandemic wiped a lot of people out, and you know it's a lot of shit going on. They got quarantines, places and stuff. Division 1 was based in New York. Division 2 was based in DC. And so, you know, they got these, you know, areas, and you got different factions of people who are trying to gain control. You know, you got these people called the cleaners. They were like firefighters who.
Something like the Hunger Games.
I never watched that.
Oh man, you watch it?
I never watched it.
Watch that shit, man.
No sir.
You will see so much of that.
They say that it's
Hunger Games is real.
You'll see so much of that going on right now with the Trump presidency versus this Biden presidency coming in. We all got tricked, dog. Listen, watch the Hunger Games. In the land that was full of everything, and it was is a land with Trump.
How they control the people.
And how they control the people with their mind.
I feel like I'm at a level right now that they couldn't tell me nothing because I already see what's going on. I don't have to watch because I already know. I get it. I get all that shit they doing.
Yes, I get it. Look, bro, you watch the Hunger Games and you put that
shit out inside of your lights off last night. That's what I didn't do. I forgot to turn your lights off.
The lesson. You see the one light on. Everything else was off. Did I? Yeah, you did. When I came home, my trip. Well, Iran might have cut it off when they got here. I got here, it was cut off. I didn't get here till like 2:30.
Yeah. That's I left out of there, man, last night. I was just like,
I came back looking for you.
Yeah, I was. Did you get a dude? I got something to say. That man, that security guard dude. Remember you said you gonna walk? He was asking you about
the big one.
No, the white dude that was on the patio.
No, I didn't get it.
He said no, I don't care.
He didn't right now.
He said something. It's like he said I got something to say, and he's like, I'm gonna come back, put it in your phone or something. You said scan.
Oh yeah. I asked him. I said, "The reason why you ain't liking and following and sharing my podcast." Yeah, I remember that. No, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get.
I got all that. Why you got me? Why you seen Michael to me twice? Like I asked Michael.
I don't know. And it's gonna be.
I just don't want to be on camera.
No, sir.
With the camera, I don't want to be famous.
No.
Y'all
You're going on
famous,
camera.
man.
You're going on
Y'all be
camera.
famous. Well, I'll be like, man, I know them brothers.
I need to get Henry. I need to get
Henry. Like,
Henry.
you don't know them niggas, man.
I need to get Henry joking ass on camera.
No,
I
he
need
already
to
said it.
share
He already said here we ain't gonna get on camera.
This is what I want you to do.
Man,
I want you
he don't
to.
even have. He don't even know
I
how
want
to
you
get on
to
YouTube.
pick one of the videos if it's just a promotional video.
He got a flip phone.
He's not gonna. If he got a flip
Share it
phone,
to his text.
he like me. He like me when I got out of the
He
joint.
got a flip phone. This dude, he don't do nothing. He don't got no
Yeah,
social media, none of that.
Can you tell him to call me?
I did. I talked to him the other day, man. I think he said I'm gonna give you number, man.
Give him my number. Tell him to call me.
I am. Hey,
Damn, this motherfucker going. Hey, that video I did on.
Did you ever find them sunglasses, man? You wanna check my coat, man?
No.
We gonna frisk you before you go
Guess
out.
where they was at? They had a bunch of wires on top of the counter right there, and they black glasses.
No, you know what happened?
And
He
they
walked
were
in the
in the
kitchen.
wires.
He's like, watch I find him. And then he said, I found your
Soon as I
glasses.
said I found him.
Yeah, and I stopped blind. I thought he was playing with me. He's like, watch when I'm gonna find him.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said I found the glasses, we gonna leave it right here. And I was like, stop! I'm thinking he fucking with me.
Yeah.
And the glass was in
You
the
know how
wires.
we got all them wires right there and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
We had all the wires right here on the counter, and the glasses were entangled in them. What is this?
TikTok.
Oh, 160, I see
No.
it. 158. Oh, 318.
Where's listen to that one? Listen to that show AC.
Who's Charleston White?
Charleston, that fool that you had on TV that night.
Oh, the
That
one with the
Negro.
Viking shit.
The Negro that was talking about the people in the car.
Oh, the one that was talking about snitching.
Yeah, that's Charleston White.
And this dude was talking about snitching. He's a snitch.
He's a Negro out of Texas.
He lived in Texas, and he was on his block. And hold on, let me pause this so I can tell you. He was on his block, and he walked outside, and
But he told me, they asked him about snitching. Cause he's like, yeah, I'll snitch.
Yeah.
And he said, I just snitched on
He said I ain't snitching. He said I'm telling. He said a snitch. He said the difference between a snitch and somebody that's telling is a snitch is trying got some incentive to tell on somebody. He said I ain't got no incentive. I'm telling on your ass. Get the fuck off my block with that bullshit. And what he talking about is it was 4 black people sitting in the car in a Cadillac on his block. He said they ain't had no business sitting on
Is
his
he a
block.
white guy?
Yo, black dude out of Texas. And he said, yeah. And he said, one of them, when the police rolled up on him, I'm thinking he's joking. He's like, yeah, when they rolled up on one of the dudes had a
He
warrant,
dead
they
serious.
took him to jail.
I got it right
Yeah,
there.
I'm like, yeah. Dude, you got it. This dude is fucking bonkers.
Well, I mean, I got a different view on snitching also. Like,
This is my thing on
a
snitching.
snitch is somebody that's doing what you doing with you and then tell on you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
And I said that. And I said that.
If you an innocent bystander or civilian and you live on a block and you see somebody doing some crime on your block and you call the police,
Yeah,
that is your citizen's right to do.
Talk about being at your house, being in
And
the
I
D.
said that.
Talk
I
about
said
being in the D.
that. I said
Talk
that.
about
I
being in
said
the D
exactly
on your
what you
block, and somebody you serving on the block, and this lady tell on you. You mean y'all just gonna let this lady tell on you? No, somebody gonna come see her or show her what the deal is.
Whether somebody comes see her or not, she's not snitching if she's not selling dope with you and then tells on you. If she's a innocent civilian who's not in the game,
This shit right here.
and she tell on you because you selling dope out in the open, well, that's her right as a citizen to try to get
I
crime
never
off
said.
her
I never
block.
said. I never.
But
this
so-
is this is the Negro right here. This is that Negro.
I know this brother.
I
I've
said
seen him
that's
before.
Charleston White.
I said the same thing
I
you said.
see what he said. I know what he be talking about.
I've been watching him. I've been secretly watching, and I didn't want nobody to know I had a secret crush on him. Yeah, I didn't want nobody to.
Dude, why the hell you getting away with all this
Somebody
bullshit?
walk in the room.
How you getting away with this?
He's a cop.
This ain't something wrong with you.
I'm surprised they didn't go burn up his
In
crib.
college, university.
He can't live in the hood,
Walked
though,
up and said, "Hey, Charleston, what are you listening to?" And your teacher saw you listening to that shit. They might make a referral to somebody. Yeah, something ain't right with this kid.
Something ain't right with you.
You don't want no child playing that shit at school. So I was fond of the nigga. I think he went on Cam Capone News or one of them motherfuckers, and he said, and this was his exact word, he said, "Custer." Yeah, he called me a custer. Yeah, that hurt my feelings. Yeah, what? So then he said that there's a casket 5 me. What? Yeah, there's a casket 5 cubs. Hey, listen. His OG baby snaps. OG baby snaps of the Rolling 50 neighborhood 55 Street Crips. He the main nigga. I'm talking about he the nigga. I'm talking about he a bad motherfucker, they say. Now, Baby Snaps is in the California prison system. He ain't got no business knowing what's going on YouTube. So, Crip Mac make a video and said that he got a call from the big homie down doing time on the yard, OG Baby Snaps. And if OG Baby Snaps making a call, it got to be serious. So I'm saying, what the fuck? How can OG Baby Snaps in prison know what the fuck is going on YouTube? And he calling and telling niggas what I said. He wouldn't have known what the fuck I said to Crip Mac if it wasn't for Baby Snaps. So I get mad at the motherfucker at Baby Snaps. Nigga, I don't know nothing about Baby Snaps. So lo and behold, unbeknownst to me, Baby Snaps cut the lights off in the cell and he make a video with his cell phone in prison. Yeah, dumb motherfucker. Cut the lights off and started talking to me. Nigga South in slavery. Talking shit to a nigga up north that's free. What nigga, please? You a nigga, I'm a free nigga. Ain't no way in the world you can talk to a free nigga like this. Nigga, you a slave. So, Baby Snap made a pretty good video. And he said all kind of shit to me, man, because I wanted to be a hoover. And he called me all kind of shit. So, when I look at the comment section, the first comment I see, they left a comment on Baby Snap video. They said, Baby Snaps, is that you? I know that's you, Baby Snaps. I recognize Baby Snap's voice. I know that's Baby Snaps. So that was my witness to the fact that that's the real Baby Snaps. So when I saw that, I said, boy, look at these dumb motherfuckers. Somebody recognized his voice and told on me. So I'm going to help him out some more. So I called the California Department of Correction and said, hey, it's an inmate in there, and I lied. I said, he called it and he threatened me, and I'm scared for my life. Yeah, I told a lie. But
and then how you felt when you got the presidential pardon.
Let's get on camera.
Around 2006, when I was Beaumont USP, I prophesied. X amount of years from that date.
You was in Bloody Beaumont?
That's where I started off at.
I'm gonna tell y'all about Bloody Beaumont. There's a lot of killing going on there. Officers.
From the warden on down to the officers, everybody crooked. Yep. If you ain't right, you dead.
What state?
The minute you walk in the door,
what state is that?
You dead.
Texas.
Oh,
Texas.
All the way.
Bloody Beaumont.
You got any snitching, child molestation, molestation, anything like that, that ain't make you right as a man, you dead.
Oh, okay, right.
You can't be on the compound.
You not gonna walk on the compound. In 24 hours, you are dead.
Are they sending them? Or don't they got like another separate?
No. In 24 hours, you are dead.
Area for them.
Ain't no if and buts about it. You dead, homie.
If you don't leave,
you go into lockdown, you still gonna get killed. I seen dudes get their brains stumped out in lockdown. I seen the officers put dudes in the cells with dudes that wasn't right because they know they ain't right. I seen the dudes tell the officer, "Hey, look, come here. Let me holler at you." And then in lockdown, that's it. In lockdown, and he said, "Hey, look, I got your name on your thing and your badge. If you don't put me in the cell with that dude so I can kill him, your family's gonna be dead." And walked away from the cell though. In the middle of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, they took that dude out of that cell to put him in the cell to kill that dude. They killed the dude, took him out, put him back in the cell. They wake up the next morning and find out the dude was dead. And they say, "Oh, oops, my bad." Sweep it up under the rug and nothing else was said about it. That's God is true.
I just don't know what I'm supposed to be.
say.
I got something to say.
Ron got something to say.
I agree. Just don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Something to say.
3.
I got something to say. I got something to say.
I got something to say. No, I got something to say.
You want to hear me though? I got something to say.
About what? On I got something to say?
On I got something to say.
You got something to say on I got something to say?
On I got something to say, man.
All right.
Shut me up. Shut me up.